Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're embarking on an absolutely incredible journey. We are going to dive headfirst into a perilous, action-packed day in the life of the Sunda Pangolin, set deep within the lush but notoriously unforgiving tropical rainforests of Southeast Asia. When we think about surviving in the rainforest, our minds usually go straight to roaring beasts and lightning-fast chases. But the pangolin? It plays by an entirely different, highly specialized set of rules. It is a brilliant story of endurance, and I am so excited to walk you through it. Right out of the gate, our protagonist faces some intense physical vulnerabilities. In a dangerous environment absolutely teeming with apex predators, the Sunda Pangolin has zero speed to outrun danger, no sharp teeth to bite back, and yet it's actively hunted by seemingly everything in the forest. You look at that setup and you have to wonder, how on earth does this animal make it through a single afternoon, let alone a whole day? Tools it actually does have. The Sunda Pangolin is a wildly secretive creature. To make up for having no speed and no teeth, it leans heavily on two things: a ridiculously keen sense of smell and its absolute claim to fame, a natural heavy-duty armor of overlapping keratin scales. So picture our pangolin starting its day. It uses that amazing sense of smell to track down an active termite colony in the soft earth. Then, using these incredibly powerful foreclaws, it tears the mound wide open and extends a remarkably long, sticky tongue deep into the tunnels for breakfast. It's a peaceful little moment of foraging, but as we know, in the rainforest, peace rarely lasts. Luckily for our pangolin, all that foraging has attracted some serious unwanted attention. Hidden away in the trees, a leopard is watching. And this forces us right into a critical question. How do you survive when you literally can't run away? Suddenly, the pangolin is staring down a deadly apex predator, an animal built purely for speed and killing. The leopard strikes. And this is where we see the pangolin's identical, brilliant three-step defense mechanism kick in. Step 1, curl ridiculously tight. Step 2, do not struggle. Step 3, just wait. By curling into a ball, it completely shields its super vulnerable head and belly right beneath that thick armor. The leopard, with all its muscle, searches frantically for an opening, but it just can't find a weakness. And because the pangolin doesn't panic or fight back, it doesn't accidentally expose a soft spot. Eventually, the leopard just gets frustrated, gives up, and opts for breaks. Check out this timeline. As the pangolin slowly uncurls from that morning leopard attack, it wanders right into the next life or death scenario by midday, and then another one by the afternoon. It is a non-stop gauntlet. Let's see what happens at midday. As the pangolin ambles down into a damp, rocky ravine, a python is lying there perfectly still among the roots. The pangolin hasn't noticed it at all. One more step, and boom, the ambush is triggered. The python springs into action, coiling tightly around the pangolin's armored body, squeezing with incredibly powerful muscles, relentlessly searching for an unprotected area to crush. So, what does the pangolin do? Absolute stillness. As the python squeezes tighter, the pangolin just reverts to its golden rule. It curls into an even tighter ball, completely stops struggling, and waits. The python shifts, tries over and over to find a grip, but those overlapping keratin scales give it absolutely nothing to work with. Eventually, the coils loosen. But even then, the pangolin stays totally motionless until every single vibration from that snake has completely disappeared. But like I said, the rainforest doesn't hand out participation trophies. By the afternoon, fresh tracks and droppings signal a brand new threat. The echoing barks of wild dogs start cutting through the trees. Within moments, an entire pack rapidly surrounds our heavily armored friend. Running, again, is simply not an option. Now, the dogs take a much more chaotic approach than the leopard or the python. The pangolin is violently bitten, pulled, and literally rolled across the forest floor like a ball. It is an intense, terrifying ordeal, but the strategy holds up perfectly. Its vulnerable underside stays completely locked away inside that tight sphere. Unable to break through the tough scales, the frustrated dog pack finally loses interest. A leopard, a python, and wild dogs, the guy just needs to eat. But while searching for another termite mound, its heavy footsteps accidentally wake up a hidden colony of ground bees. This requires a complete flip in strategy. Unlike its motionless passive defense against predators, the pangolin suddenly springs into rapid, evasive maneuvers. It instantly turns away, rushes through the undergrowth, actively rolls across wet mud to smother the stings, and forcefully rubs its scales against a rough tree trunk to scrape the bees off. It is such a brilliant dynamic response to a completely different type of threat. And literally just as the bee swarm clears out, the sky opens up, heavy tropical rains quickly transform the solid forest floor into rushing streams. The water is rising fast, so the pangolin has to adapt yet again to a massive environmental hazard and quickly seek higher ground.
Fallen tree to use as a makeshift bridge. Now, this is not a careless dash. It grips the incredibly slippery bark with those exact same curved claws it uses for digging. It uses its heavy tail for balance as the wind rocks the tree and the water violently races beneath it. Every single step is slow, calculated, and precise until it safely reaches the other.
Finally, our protagonist finds a decaying log, safely grabs a meal, and heads home. Sporting scratched scales, fragments of leaves, and dried mud as literal battle scars from its treacherous journey, it successfully returns to its shelter beneath the massive roots of an ancient tree. It checks the entrance, disappears inside, and its breathing finally, gradually slows down. Let's look at the core takeaway of this whole explainer. We almost always equate survival in the wild with being the fastest, the strongest, or the most aggressive. But the pangolin flips that script completely. It outlasts leopards, pythons, and wild dogs, not by fighting back, but through pure patience, an innate ability to read the forest, and deep trust in its keratin armor. It survives by perfecting the absolute art of doing nothing while everyone else is panicking. As the pangolin rests, the source material notes that outside the forest just keeps moving. Birds fly through the canopy, insects reclaim the ground, and the rainforest stretches on. The text concludes with this really powerful thought. Here in the rainforest, surviving one more day is a victory in itself. It is the perfect summary of the quiet, monumental triumph of the Sunda pangolin against totally impossible odds.
So I want to leave you with one final question to ponder today.